All right, hey everybody. Today we are talking about the block, tap, stop, snap, rotate, twist, buttsert, buttsert. Anyways, what the heck is all this, right? This is the identifications that you're looking for that happen in all skills, on all surfaces, in all places. So the sooner you understand this, the easier it is going to be able to problem solve gymnastics, parkour, tumble and tramp, golf, basketball, football, whatever it is you're doing. All right, the block. The block is referencing the pivot point in relationship to your center of mass. So you have a direction of travel. Looks like we're traveling to the right, the left to the right. And we have a center of mass, which is the blue star. The orange triangle represents your pivot point, and the arrow is letting you know where are you traveling to. So if you want to travel up, you are going to have to put your feet further behind the center of mass. If you want to travel down, you're going to have to put your feet, well, I guess behind is the wrong word. So if you want to travel up, your feet are going to be more in front of the center of mass, and the center of mass will be behind your feet. If you want to travel down, the center of mass is past your feet. Your feet are behind you in the direction of travel. So, and it looks like we have two images going on here where we're traveling, we're doing back rotation and front rotation. So get comfortable looking at this, the arrows, to do a front handspring, where do your feet need to be in relationship to your center of mass? To do a back handspring, where do your feet need to be in relationship to your center of mass? Which image is for a back layout? Which image is for a back whip? So looking at this, or front layout or front whip or Branny or Arabian, this is really what you got to get very comfortable seeing. The principle still applies if your hands are on the ground. It still applies if you're on bars. It's just sometimes more complicated to see on bars, but it's all, again, relationship to how your body is engaging with the surface and where your center of mass is. Now, the block is not just where my feet in relationship to my center of mass, but it's also where's the surface pushing me. So you have to understand that on a trampoline, there's more travel on the trampoline. So if you enter the trampoline at one angle, it does not mean you're going to leave the trampoline at the same angle. You might travel over your feet. You might move because the trampoline is traveling. So the block also is going to change based off of the type of surface. You need to understand how that surface compresses to know how the body's going to travel over the pivot point to let you know where exactly the block is happening. The tap. The amount of shape change needed to load the system. So we have an image which is in a pike and it's throwing into an arch position. We're assuming that it's going to snap down, so it looks like it's a back whip or a back handspring. The tap is the pike to arch. It's the throw, and really you're loading the system because you're actually lengthening the front side of your body, shortening the back side of your body, and you're going to then change directions, which is going to be shorten the front side as aggressively as possible. So you're loading the system to change the direction, and it's kind of like pulling a rubber band back and letting it snap. The tap is the power source. It is the energy you're going to see being put into the system. It is what generates the angular momentum. It is what helps generate the linear momentum. It is the secret sauce. So how much shape change you need is going to determine what skill you're doing, what you're trying to achieve, and how much linear momentum you have, essentially. The stop action is, notice where the hands are hitting. There's a point where it's kind of like a whip. You're throwing not the skill a whip, but more like a whip that cracks. You're throwing your hands into a direction to hit a stopping point, and then the rest of the body is going to kind of pull over that point. And so there's the stopping action. And it's not that you're stopping, but there is a moment where your body's going to kind of change places with itself. And you need to understand that, because that actually helps build the self-awareness that an athlete needs to know, where does the snap happen, or how do I ride the skill out longer, or does this happen before the stop or after the stop? It is a clear feeling and it is identifiable, so it's important to understand that. The stop action in a back handspring or a front handspring is actually when the hands touch the surface. It's the hands touching the surface. So that gets confusing because the hands on the surface can be like a block, but we're not actually trying to push into the surface with our hands. So it's actually more of a stopping action. The snap is the hollowing, is the change of shape. And the snap is conserving the energy, usually has the rotation comes from it. So you're usually snapping into your rotation. And a snap is not just a hollow position, it can be an arch position if you're doing front tumbling. So linear momentum plus angular momentum plus rotational inertia. And this is rotation. So you're rotating on the surface is angular. Rotating in the air is conservation of energy. And all these things combined is creating the rotation that we're talking about. So angular momentum on the surface, usually that's where the tap is connected to the surface, and then the snap pulls you off the surface into the air. Twisting. Okay, so we want to learn how to twist after the snap. So back layout, we talked about this in the layout presentation. So back layout, you're going to have an early snap. The earlier the snap, the more twist you can make because you have more time to twist, because you have more rotation essentially in the system. So learning to twist after the snap is going to help tremendously because it gets the body in the position that it needs to be in to make twists happen. And that's it. BTSSRT, block, tap, stop, snap, rotate, twist. Get comfortable with the terms, get comfortable seeing it in the skills. This is where all the problems lie. It's either in their block, it's in their tap, it's in the stopping action, the snapping action, rotation, or twisting action. So there you have it. That's the secret sauce. Have fun and yeah, get better.